So I did great financially, and I'm grateful for it. But I see now how much more we could have worked on the business if we didn't have to work so hard in it. EOS gets everyone going in the same direction. Seems like a simple and obvious concept, but it's tremendously difficult, and I've come to learn most companies either aren't doing it or they aren't doing it well. Imagine rowing with the same intensity towards the same fixed point with everyone knowing where they're going, believing they're going to get there, and why they're going there in the first place. So when I had the sanitation business, I had the whole thing mapped out in my head. When I did eventually write it down, it came to 40 pages. Turns out I had a vision all right that only myself and the bank knew about. If everyone had known what my vision was, and more importantly, the reason I came up with it, we could have all been aligned and motivated to achieve our goals together. If you see yourself as a visionary, and I hope you do, EOS can help make sure your employees understand precisely where you want to take your business and why. You have to know where you're going first, then let your employees in on the why so they can share in that purpose. Have you ever heard the phrase, right people, right seat? Well, it was coined by Jim Collins in his book, Good to Great. Great read, by the way. I have only one issue with it. He never tells you what defines the right people. Well, it turns out the right people share your core values and fit into your culture like a glove. Does this sound familiar? You let that person go. Everyone around you goes, "What took you so long?" Every entrepreneur likes to think, "I'll know it when I see it." But ironically, when you're at the top of the food chain, you're often the last to see it. As an example, one of our drivers performed almost double the work as the next highest performer, but was extremely toxic to our environment. We lost good people because of him. He never bought into the core values, and it cost us a bundle in the process. Once we let him go, some of those drivers that left, they actually came back. So even one bad driver can spoil the bunch. EOS has the tools to help you predict if an employee is the right fit for the culture of your organization and in the seat you're looking to fill. Having these tools would have helped us make hiring and firing decisions much quicker and held people accountable. We wouldn't have let loyalty and emotions get in the way of letting people go. EOS or not, you'll eventually figure it out. But EOS just brings it to the surface so much quicker and speeds up the process. So core values are verbs, they're not nouns. It's the difference between integrity and doing the right thing. You can measure verbs, you can act on verbs. Nouns just sit there looking pretty. You need to run your business on facts, figures, and objective information, rather than subjective opinions, egos, and personalities that typically guide decision-making in entrepreneurial organizations. Today, we create a scorecard of weekly measurables that give you a pulse on the business of what's working and what's not, so you can course correct along the way. So we did have a version of a scorecard that we called the dashboard, but it had way too many measurables and wasn't always shared with all the right people who could actually impact the numbers. There was information we tracked that we didn't need to focus our energy on, and we should have added information that would have been helpful to us overall. Overall, the scorecard is such a great tool to help you watch trends. It gives everyone the information to visually see what's going on and gives you a great pulse on how things are going. So we went through the recession, housing crash in 2007 and 2008, and had to regroup and turn down a little different path with our business model. Basically, we needed to diversify what work we were doing and where it was coming from. While we did that and it worked out, we might have made some of those decisions sooner if we had a version of the scorecard that we reviewed weekly with our team. We can help you get good at solving short-term and long-term issues and give you the tools to help you make decisions and get stuff done. If you're afraid to talk about it, that's a good sign that you need to talk about it. First, we have to define what an issue is. Issues are something that need to be addressed, talked about, and resolved. Once you know your issues, we'll teach you how to draw them out and implement an effective process to set those issues up, knock them down, and make them go away forever. It's hard not to dwell sometimes on the hours we spent in meetings at our old company not solving what we desperately needed to solve. Plain and simple, we fully intended to get together to deal with the issues. But invariably, we'd go off on tangents or rabbit holes. We'd go back and forth politicking our opinions. So my clients run on EOS, of course, but so do we. And having a weekly structured meeting is a total game changer. You get so much more done and issues actually get solved rather than pushed under the rug. When someone says, "Got a minute?" it never takes a minute, does it? Let's solve those issues so they don't come back. We ask in meetings what's on your mind or holding you back. When we solve for that, the end result is pure productivity. So identify the most important things you do day in and day out. Doing them the right way, the same way, every single time. It creates consistency and scalability and allows the business to be more manageable, profitable, and fun. It also eliminates redundancies and takes out confusion and complexity. Keith J. Cunningham says in his book, The Road Less Stupid, ordinary things consistently done produce extraordinary results. Well said, Keith. So we had processes in place for some, but not all of the positions we had in our company. Some of those processes were just too darn long or weren't shared with everyone affected by them. And we didn't hold people accountable for not following the process. So having everything put together for the whole company for everyone to see is huge. It helps if someone needs to fill in for someone that is gone. It's a training tool and leaves no room for, "I didn't know that was my responsibility," or "I didn't know how to do the job." Understanding the value in following your processes is key. Consistency over time creates success. It's what allows you to build a well-oiled machine.